Hey guys, what's up? So today let's talk about what I believe will become the new World of Warcraft meta. I think there is a good reason that Blizzard is only releasing as many servers as they are. So first I'd like to say that obviously releasing less servers and then having to add more before and at launch of the game looks better for Classic WoW. If they were to release 30 servers and, maybe only 5 to 10 were highly populated and then the rest were all, mediums and lows, that doesn't really look good for the hype or longevity of the game. Whereas with the news we've been getting the last few days where, oh, we need to launch a new server, like this server is, huge, guys, switch off this server, there's too many people, you're going to be sitting in huge queues, that kind of stuff helps to fuel hype for the game, and then it also allows Blizzard to proactively add new servers into the game without having to I just think having a lot of servers at launch is a bad idea. So I actually think that what they're doing is a good thing in terms of generating hype and keeping people excited, seeing like, oh, there's going to be a lot of people playing this game. So I'm all for what they've been doing. I know that's been something that a lot of people have been talking about. Launch might be a little sloppy from it, but I think it will keep people around better than having a bunch of dead servers. So now that we've talked on that, I'd like to talk about the new World of Warcraft meta and why I think this is going to be kind of what Blizzard is looking at doing. I think them adding World of Warcraft Classic and Battle for Azeroth and like any other upcoming expansions for the game under one subscription is extremely smart. BFA and pretty much all the other expansions that have ever come out for WoW, and even Classic itself, there's a lot of downtime within the game. There's times where you've completed most of the content, especially with how gamers play video games nowadays. People invest a lot of time, and this is one thing that you'll see in Classic, is people will invest tons and tons of time into the game, and they'll complete everything that there is to complete for their main character. Yeah, they might create an alt or something like that, but in general, players are going to get to the point where they're raid logging or there's not as much to do. This is one of the reasons why I think if you are really into Classic WoW, going on a PvE server is, basically killing your experience. Because really at the end of the day, there's not a whole lot to do on WoW once you've, hit max level. You are doing your raid once a week and it's on farm. There's not much else to do in the game besides, world PvP and cool events like that. And I think Blizzard knows this, and I think that's why that it's so smart of them to have the two games under the same subscription. And I think subscription numbers are going to look better for much longer. Now, if there's a content release in BFA, a lot of people will be playing BFA, and then once they get bored of BFA, they're going to, hop over to Classic WoW. I think there will be a lot of interchanging between Classic and BFA. I personally do not like the new modern version of the game. I will be staying away from it, but that's not to say that if a new expansion comes out and they have a lot of cool updates and ways that I think they've fixed the game, I'll definitely go back and test out the new content. And I think that's what they're banking on with a lot of players, is that a lot of players will share that same mindset. Already right now with the way World of Warcraft is going, is they always have massive spikes in subscribers when a new expansion comes out. Obviously, people want to go back in, try out the game. People get burnt out or bored, or they run out of things to do, so then they leave the game. But there's always that small amount of players that will stick around, and then obviously there's that large number of returning players that will always come to try out the new expansions. So now having a shared subscription, I think a lot of people will actually stay around to play both games. And I think the way that Classic works, especially in the later portions of the game, obviously the beginning is very grindy and you have to invest a lot of time, but as I've said in this video, Classic WoW is is not as time sinky as people think. It is at the beginning, and it is if you're going to do your rank 14 grind. But nowadays, with the amount of competent players when it comes to raiding, if you raid once a week for 2 or 3 hours, that's your WoW content for the week. That's pretty much all there is to do besides doing battlegrounds, doing dungeons, and working on alts. Alts will probably be a fairly popular thing, but there's a reason why a lot of times on private servers there's a downtrend in players after Blackwing Lair has been cleared, because players start to run out of reasons to log into the game. They've done all their reputation farms, they've cleared through dungeons, and obviously cleared through the raids, and now it all comes down to just kind of raid logging. So I think that classic WoW might honestly be looked at as how players look at twinks. They might have their main character on BFA, and then their guild has maybe half the guild also has some characters on classic, and they go on and play classic once a week to clear some raids and do some world PvP. And now obviously this saddens me, of course, because I'm a huge classic WoW fan, and I don't want to admit to this that I'm thinking this way, but I do believe that this is just something that is inevitable. It happens with any games. No game is untarnished by this kind of drop off that you're going to see. It's inevitable, like I said. But I think the fact that it's under a shared subscription allows Blizzard to have much more leeway with their plans with modern WoW, and then also their plans with classic. I'm very interested to see what comes of classic WoW, how it does, and I'm interested to see where they go with it come Naxxramas, whether they're choosing to do new legacy servers like TBC and Wrath of the Lich King, or if they choose to do updated fresh classic servers, so just brand new, everyone's back to level 1, or if they plan to do classic plus. Personally, I love classic WoW, right? I love Burning Crusade. I love Wrath of the Lich King. I love all those expansions just as much as probably anyone else does. But I think we shouldn't kid ourselves. If there was a brand new, fresh MMO that none of us had ever played, but we knew it was really good, I would way rather have a game like that coming out than Classic WoW. Classic WoW, I love that game, but the reason why I enjoy it so much and I've been having so much fun with it the last few years is just because there's nothing else out there that's available. So personally, I'm interested to see what they could do with Classic Plus. I know that's a big no-no for most people, but that is something that I would like to see some fresh stuff, something new. The MMO genre is so stale. Whether it's Blizzard that makes up a new MMO that's enjoyable, or if it's a different company. I sometimes just think about how much hype I have for Classic launch and how excited I am. And obviously that is true hype. But then I think about how excited I was for the launch of, Wrath of the Lich King back when I was playing the Burning Crusade, or how excited I was to, go through new content that I'd never seen before, like with a new raid patch or something. That is what I miss in MMOs. So whether, we get to the end of Classic and there's nothing new, or they choose, one of their several paths that they can take, what I am really hoping is the success of Classic overall reinvigorates developers and different gaming companies in terms of developing something in the same spirit as Classic that we could all enjoy, because as I said, new content is really what is exciting and fun. Obviously playing back through old stuff is definitely enjoyable, but you know, I'm not as excited for like TBC servers as some other people are, and you know, Wrath I could really care less about. I just love Classic, as I've said over and over again, and just seeing, you know, extra content from that, or you know, a new game entirely would be exciting for me. So my vote's on Classic Plus or a different game entirely at the end of Naxxramas. I'd really like to hear what you guys have to say. I know this is like a very hot button topic in the community, and if you know someone says Classic Plus, everyone instantly starts yelling at them. You know, oh, Activision Blizzard can't be trusted, and I agree. But then there's other people that you know are pushing for TBC, and there's people that are pushing for fresh content or fresh servers, I should say. And then there's other people that are just not going to touch Classic WoW with a 10-foot pole. I'd love to hear in the comment section what you guys think about, you know, all these routes that Blizzard could take. I'd love to hear what you think about Classic Plus. And I'd also love to hear if you guys want to see more videos on my opinions on, you know, what they could do with Classic Plus. If that's something that's interesting to you guys, I'll definitely make a video on that. With all that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you tomorrow.